somebody commented that Colorado don't know shit about barbecue, and they're talking about a Michelin barbecue restaurant, which I've never even heard of.
All right. Okay, so let's okay, maybe okay, but let's do this now. So hey, my name is Tony.
I'm Zach.
Hey, welcome, Colorado Barbecue Boys. Now, it's been a little while. We've talked about offset barbecues, and just got this one back. It's not done yet. As you can see, it's rusted. It needs to be cleaned up, painted, and then it'll be smoking hot. But right now, but before we do that, we're gonna show you how to break in and season a barbecue. Yeah, so a lot of people have different ways on how they season a barbecue. A lot of people use canola oil, peanut oil, a high yielding, you want a high smoke point. Because what you wanna do is first leave it for a consistent, maybe 250 degrees for a while and then jack up the heat. Some people say jack up the heat and keep it there for like 2-3 hours, like 400 or 500 degrees. I kind of tend to lean towards those people because this is all cast iron. Like you would a cast iron skillet, same thing you would. So you'd rub it with either beef fat, bacon fat, works really well. I tell you guys, I've seen some people online use Wagyu tallow. And you want to say, why would you use Wagyu fat? You pay a lot of money for Wagyu for the marbling, but you don't pay for the fat. And you're not eating off it. You're not gonna eat it, you're seasoning it. So what I would do is just go down to your store and get local beef fat. This is called Mendeca. A lot of Hispanic stores have this. Regular grocery stores have it. It's just 100% beef fat. That's all it is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this up. We're gonna wipe it all inside. Just take your paper towel and smear it in there. Smear it all the way around, inside, and not just inside the grill, not outside, just the inside of the grill. Do your grates.
Oil it all up.
Well, and then we're gonna fire up the smoker and see how it is. We've never fired the smoker up. Online, they're actually made in the US and they're a fraction of the price. They're about $37.
Okay.
Which if you went to a True, which is a great quality made in the US, they're about 100. And so you want to go, I don't want to spend $600 just on thermometers.
Yeah.
But they are cool and they're high gauge. But these are also made in America. Again, all you have to do is calibrate it. We'll do a show on how to calibrate the thermometers too as well. And I want to also give a big shout out to Bison. If you need to buy a Bison, click here. So here, let's open this up and
right.
Let's smear it up.
Do it. Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah. So we got a little chicken and the pig. It is kind of small real estate on this one.
Okay.
The brisket won't really fit in this one.
Well, do you just take?
I'm going to take that straight out. So what I'll do is take that out. Again, this is just 100% fat.
So I guess I have a pellet smoker. I've never had an offset. I don't have cast iron skillet. So for us beginners on seasoning things, why? I mean, I know generally why, but why should we season it?
That's a great question because they're porous. Okay. Because cast iron is porous, and you can actually create a non-stick out of your cast iron every single time. So if you season a cast iron, it actually adds a flavor. Actually adds iron into your food, back into your food. So a lot of people are low in iron. They say cook with cast iron. Okay. But a lot of times people say, I hate to cook with cast iron because it sticks. Okay. Well, if you season it properly and you season it right, this will actually become a non-stick smoker. And you keep doing that every time. And the more you use it, the better it's gonna get. And so a lot of people say, oh, I have to clean out my smoker every time. Yeah. You can, if you don't want to start a grease fire, because if your flames get in there, you could cause a grease fire. However, when you do that, scrub it, wipe it all out. Use soap and water, believe it or not. Clean it out, soap and water, rinse it all out. And then re-season this all over again and restart the process. Okay. You can always take a cast iron and redo it. So people have cast iron and they want to throw them away because they're rusty. Yeah. No, scrub them out and re-season it. You do the same thing. Use the same process with your cast irons at home too as well. Okay. And that's why you would season this.
And how often would you do that? Do you have to ever do it again if you want, or?
No. Okay. I'd be done. My other smoker I've had for 15 years, I'll wipe it and clean it because I don't want a grease fire. But then again, I don't make my firebox that raging of a fire where it's going to catch fire. Now, if it does, I did make this fireproof. A firefighter did help me make this. Thank you, Lucas. Lucas, you're badass, so thank you. Lucas, he created this, did it, and we kind of worked together on how we wanted to design it, but he did all the work. Okay. I cannot. I wish I could. It is a talent, and he is very talented. But if it did catch fire, the only thing I'm going to lose on this is probably the tires, the trailer lights, and the hoses. That's about it. Oh, wow. But all this and the thermometers probably. Everything, you're not going to destroy this thing. If there's a tornado, I'd just hide in this thing if I could fit. So what we're going to do is we can pull these out. Okay. So you're going to do this one. Okay. Take this piece right here. Okay. I'll do the bottom one over here. We're just going to smear it. Here's your paper towel. Just take your paper towel here. Open up your fat. Yes, it's going to be a little messy. Take a wedge of that fat.
Okay.
And just smear it all over your grates. Now, if you bought one from the store, if you bought one online from a store, sometimes they preserve it with oils and some kind of chemicals on there. And this one actually is interesting because this is a reverse flow. So the firebox is right here. The heat goes underneath these plates right here, comes in over, and it comes out this flue right here. So it goes under the plates and back over. So you're directing the heat over the grates. I've never used a reverse flow. They say it's more consistent.
Okay.
We'll let you know, right?
So like a regular, like a Traeger or Rectech, it's what's the, I guess the difference is the heat comes up and around versus.
Right.
Okay.
In an offset here, you have your firebox here and your flue right there, your smokestack right there, and it creates like a vacuum.
Yeah.
Like a convection oven.
Okay.
This is just one step further to what you're trying to do is make it like a convection oven and constant heat over the meat. So in a normal firebox, the heat goes up and down. Okay. And that's why I have the 6 thermometers. As we fire this up, you'll actually see temperatures all around this thing differently. And what you do is you learn how to control the top, the suction out of here, kind of leaving that open so it sucks all the air out. Okay. And it draws the air from down here and it pulls it and goes out this way, out the top. Okay. Go up this way and I'll do this side. Don't work on that side, I'll work on this side.
Oh, you do the whole inside.
Whole inside.
Okay. So do I need to do up in here?
Yep. Okay. We're gonna pull this. We'll pull this other grate out too. We can get in there. If we're done with the grate, we're done with the grates.
Yeah, I think I got it pretty good.
Okay. There we go. Round 2.
Yeah. So then you're doing the whole plates, everything.
Until we run out of fat. There you go. So now the flame, all the flame, the smoke is going to come under this way right here. Okay. And look at this. It's going to be drawn out like a big suction, like a siphon. It's going to be drawn out this way, coming up this way. So in theory, you should have a more consistent flow of heat going over your meats and hitting everything versus it goes up and down, moving your meats around. Okay.
So the controlling this, like if it's cooler over there, you can slide this.
I can slide that.
Make
I can adjust. If I really want to do a next best level, I can fill the bottom part with water because it's full. The bottom will actually start to boil and cause humidity, which then you don't have, then your meats don't dry out. So you can create moisture.
Okay. We've got a killer rub recipe from AJ's for pork that we use. I don't know what you use now, but
is that the one we got when we did that?
Yeah, we have a video. If you haven't watched it, it's the barbecue masterclass. Watch it at the end
Click
of this
there.
one.
That barbecue masterclass was well worth the money.
So for these pieces that meat and stuff isn't going to touch, what's the point of
seasoning that? Creates a coating around. It creates a coating around that barbecue because remember when we went to West Texas and we saw all that smoke and all that bark inside that? Yeah. That actually adds flavor to your meat. Okay. And they say, oh, the smoker's been around for 100 years, 50 years. All that's just time and time and time and time. Kind of like sourdough. Okay. Aged sourdough, when you over time just becomes better and better and better. Yeah. It does. Like my smoker today is the one downstairs at the house, the cast iron. Yeah. Like this is better than it was when I first bought it. Okay. Because it's been seasoned and I never cleaned it. I wiped it, but I never cleaned it. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. And we can take some of this. I'm gonna take some of that, put that to. My wife will cook with this later. Okay. There you go. No, just joking. She will not.
She will not.
She will not. All right, let's take a break. And when so another good trick, if you wrap your briskets with brown paper, a lot of people use peach paper, things like that. Yeah. All that meat and all that stuff, people throw it away. If you save it, let's say you barbecue a lot, save it. That will help you light your fires. It's a grease fire. Okay. But actually, it's good kindling to light your fires. A lot of barbecue people do that from all over. Big barbecue places have to keep their fires lit. They use this barbecue paper. Okay. Yep.
So you're just trying to go to 500 right now for an hour. We're not doing anything before that.
That's it. Yep.
That's it. Okay.
That is it.
It's definitely cooler over on that side. That's crazy that there's, I don't know what it is, like 30-degree difference already.
Really?
Let's see. This guy right here is 85. This guy right here is, I'm not reading that right. Let's see. 85 right here. Oh no, it's only like 10 degrees. Yeah, it's like a 10-degree difference is all.
That's not bad.
And you could, that was after we slid all of them away from this, so you could probably slide just a little bit and get a little more heat over there. Okay, so let's go for an hour.
Yep. We'll check back in.
All right, see you in an hour. I saw this question a lot. I don't know if you know the answer. So our master class or the barbecue at AJ's.
Yeah.
A lot of people are asking why they didn't trim the mohawk. And I know they talked about why they didn't trim the mohawk in the video, but like on a brisket, do you trim the mohawk usually or do you leave it?
Outer edge of that mohawk
like
steak?
So on a brisket, like the bottom piece where it has like that big, like.
Oh, they call it the mohawk? I call that the toe.
The toe, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've got the point, the flat,
heel,
and then
the point and the flat.
And then
the
on the
heel and the toe.
Well, on the bottom of the
I trim that
point.
Up. Yeah.
There's like this piece, like it looks like a shark fin.
Right. Yeah.
Like a big old chunk of fat.
I take that off.
You take that off.
I take that off.
On here, they said they don't take it off. They just kind of.
It's all subjective. You got to remember that's the bottom part anyway. That's sitting under there, and it's really not going to render anything up towards me. It's going to fall down.
Okay. So it doesn't matter.
It does because you want that, and I'll just say, my position is I want that off because I want that smoke to penetrate the meat. I don't want that. That's going to block that meat. It's going to block the smoke from penetrating inside of that meat.
Okay.
And virtually that fat's going to add no value because it's dripping fat down.
Okay.
So really, you're adding no fat. You're actually adding a shield.
Okay.
So if you really want that smoke to come through, you're taking away that shield. That's why you trim things and go things, because you'll see you have an inch thick of fat.
Yeah.
It's got to render all that fat before the smoke can enter. So I trim it to about there.
Okay.
So that way, when it renders, now the meat is pulling in that smoke. That's how you get the smoke rating.
Okay. So even if you're cutting, like if there's some portion where there's no fat because you cut off that mohawk,
it's
you
not
prefer that.
That's not the
You prefer that over too much fat though.
Exactly.
Okay. For those of you who are asking, it's trim the mohawk.
Yeah.
It's not, it's preference, it sounds like.
It really is preference, and if you're not comfortable with the more you do it though, and the more you smoke, I guarantee you're gonna trim that mohawk.
Okay.
That's what a lot of people do. A lot of people, restaurants do it. They do that because they want everything consistent.
Yeah.
And they want it well. And the way they can do that is trim it. My consistent fat is 1/4 inch all the way around. Okay, 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. Some people, weekend warriors that do it every 4 or 5 months, they might leave it on. Okay. And I'd be honest with you, leave it on. Yeah. Because if you cut too much off, you can damage your meat.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So you still have that nice smoky flavor. You'll get a smoke ring still. It really comes down to making sure your smoke is running clean, like it is up there now. See how it's running kind of clean? Okay. Fires are building. Again, we're just seasoning it right now, but this is how we're going to cook. Yeah. Doors are open. Our doors are closed, but I can watch my fire. I can control everything from right here. I want my smoke running clean. Oh, but also 7 hours of smoke on a brisket is good. Okay. Nothing less. Even but if you have a small EDB brisket, maybe 5 hours. Okay. I have a 21-pound brisket. My 21-pound brisket's a big boy. I'll probably trim a pound off. So let's call it 20.
Only a pound on a 20-pound brisket?
Maybe 2 pounds.
Wow.
Let's make that 19 pounds. Okay. You got to remember, you're gonna lose 40% of that meat. Yeah. I'm gonna trim it the way I trim it. I bet you're right. I think it's gonna probably yield about 3 pounds of fat coming off of it, maybe more. It just depends. I looked at it; it was kind of lean. Okay. It was a big brisket.
That's a big boy.
It is a big boy. I don't know what I was getting with this one, but what I was trying to say is leave the fat on. Yeah. It's gonna get a smoke ring, 7 hours of smoke. Ribs, don't wrap your ribs. You don't need to wrap your ribs. It's only 4 hours of cook time to do ribs. Really? People, okay. Oh yeah.
I do 3, 2, 1. That's how I do them.
Do 3 hours?
So 3 hours of smoke. Yep. 2 hours wrapped, 1 hour unwrapped. But Allie, I mean, I prefer
this. 6 hours.
That's 6 hours.
Well, they fall off the bone.
Fall off the bone. Okay. Yep. So not competition.
Okay, great.
It's fall off the bone.
For fall off the bone, you're exactly right. 5 to 6 hours. Yeah. For competition, about 4 hours, 4.5. Okay. But when people say on these competition shows and you're watching, I cook these ribs for 24 hours or 16 hours, I'm gonna go, you can have them. I don't even want to try them. It is like, honestly, that is too long. I don't even do a brisket that long, 24 hours. Either they're just exaggerating, whatever, because every barbecue tells like fish stories. But really, ribs take about 4 hours, 5. If you're pressed for time, if you are pressed for time, you could wrap your ribs and put them on a hotter section, and you can increase your heat temperature to finish them up sooner. Guy, when I say brilliant, that's an understatement. He really is brilliant. Do you cook your brisket and then do you do a high searing on your pellet?
Well, I can, but I don't.
What do you use it for? Just low and slow?
No, I'll turn it up sometimes for steaks. I have a Pit Boss, which I like and I don't like. The center, you can pull the grate out. Yep. And it creates a searing essentially, but it means there's a hot spot there all the time, and I hate that. So I know on the Rectech and the Yoder you can get like a little searing kit.
Yeah. So I had to use my fire extinguisher the first time in my life.
Oh wow.
On my Rectech second cook.
Oh wow.
So I did a brisket.
Yeah.
All the fat I thought went off into the bucket.
Yeah, and it didn't.
No, it caused a grease fire.
Oh wow. And
it caused a grease fire. I couldn't see literally the whole deck was coming in. My neighbor came in from Texas. He said, "Aren't you supposed to be on that barbecue channel? Aren't you supposed to know what you're doing?" I'm like, I'm sitting there like trying not to cry. I see flames shooting out this electric thing.
Yeah.
And I was told never turn it off when you try and burn down an electric pellet smoker because you can plug it right away. Because what happens is the auger, when you shut down a pellet smoker, the auger still takes the pellets and winds them down and closes off this baffle so it can't get through.
Oh, so it can't go
so
back
if I unplug it, it fires, and now your whole hopper's on fire.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh shit is right. Yeah. So you're going, oh no. So and Zach doesn't swear, guys. So yeah, it's a big deal. So when this whole thing's on fire, use a fire extinguisher. My wife's turn it off, turn it off. I'm like, no, don't turn it off. Leave it going. And I couldn't see. I couldn't breathe. I hit the smoke, and I'm sitting there going, this is great barbecue. And I found out. So if you do on a pellet smoker on my Redtech, if you do a brisket or anything slow and low with a lot of fat, you got to wipe it clean before you do high steaks. Yeah. Okay. But if you do slow and low all the time, I think it's not going to cause enough to cause a grease fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Pit Boss that I have, it's angled, but there's grooves, and that little place that you slide it makes it catches the grease. Yeah. And so the grease hardens there, and then all of the grease collects. And I've caught it on fire like 5 or 6 times, and it's just.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. A lot of comments. We had somebody say they're looking forward to our review of Buc-ee's. So we have the largest Buc-ee's.
Oh, cool.
25 minutes from
I do like their brisket sandwiches aren't bad. Yeah. For $8. I hate to say, God dang it. It's good. And guess what? I don't have to cook it.
Yeah. They're the chopped brisket, like it is. I don't know what else they mix, some sort of barbecue sauce, I assume.
Oh, it is.
It is so good.
They overcook their brisket to a mush.
And then they just chop it.
That's it. That's how they make barbecue brisket. Like your 6-hour ribs, they do a 16-hour brisket, 15-hour brisket, and they make it so where then they move it all together. They chop the lean in the I call it the heel. They call it the heel and the toe, the point and the flap, the mohawk, or you name it. Anything you want to call it. They put the whole damn thing together and chop it up together. Okay. That way, you have a little bit of everything.
And then mix some sauce in, you're good to go. They have a sliced brisket sandwich that's good too, but it's funny. There's anytime I read comments, you're the only one they're addressed specifically to. It's either all of us or just you.
Which one? The sausage one?
Let's see. No, there's one about your beans. There's a few actually about your beans.
All right, what did he say? Let's reply back.
Hey Tony, if you had to use canned beans, what kind would you use?
Bush
beans.
Bush beans. Yeah. Reply back. Say, hey, yes. Can you reply back for me?
Yeah.
Or is it under my account when I do it?
You can reply under your account. Yeah.
How much that?
Yep. All right. So Bush's beans for your beans if you had to.
Yep. Great question. Aaron Franklin's personal tour barbecue. There you go. He's coming out now because he's starting to do a lot less now on TV. Okay. I'm hoping he realizes my barbecue sucks when I'm not there.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Someone made your sausage. They said, I made this and it was fantastic. Recipe was hard to scale, so here's the ratio by weight. So they kind of broke it out.
Nice.
Broke it out, 0.26% black pepper, 0.44% fennel. Oh, here's a good question too. Mr. Orange Denver said, try collard greens with red hot. It's a game changer. I don't like green things. I don't like vegetables. No, thank you. Have you heard of Aaron's Plates by the Pound?
Aaron's Plates by the Pound?
Yeah.
This is like food. You just buy food by the pound, right? Is that what you're talking about?
It's a place here local near Denver.
No.
There was a comment on our AJ's video where we said that might be the best barbecue in Denver. Said that's a good one to try apparently.
Oh, we should go down there.
Yeah. There was one on your sausage one asking why you didn't use a binder or a curing salt number 1. Not sure what that means.
A binder or a filling salt. So some people use a binder like breadcrumbs and use a binder, something like that. It depends on what type of sausage you're using.
Okay.
Curing salt, it is we're not curing anything. We're not hanging like a salami and things like that. It's not like a beef jerky. Beef jerky is more of a cure. Okay. You cook it, you put it out there, and that's how you preserve meats. Way back when, people like call it pink salt, whatever you want to call it, but that's how you used to preserve meats without refrigeration. This thing filming? Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. And that's how you preserve meats way back when. Okay. So curing salt is okay. People say, "Oh, I don't like that curing salt. It's an additive. I forget what they call it. Okay. Whatever it is." But there's more of that in like spinach. It's a natural curing salt, but people say
nitrates.
Nitrates, yeah. Has a lot of nitrates in that thing. So I would say it's something that doesn't need to be cured at all. No. It's rare that you'll find curing salt in any sausage, except unless salami is anything else. Okay. But even those are not even using curing salts. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So you don't need it.
You don't need it. Good question. The white trailer. So many of you YouTubers just crack me up. The best Italian sausage, Harley. I guarantee you there are thousands of actual meat shops that can make better Italian sausages than you can come close to just by equipment alone. Now you suggest that you simply add, in my opinion, to the title of your video, no one is going to buy that this is the best Italian sausage on the planet, friend. Well, that's great. Well, that's funny. I mean...
Thanks for your opinion.
No. First of all, in your opinion,
yeah,
that's great. No, this is actually pretty good. But, as you know, meat shops, we'll pause this. This is good something to talk about. Meat shops actually use... they're a little worried about margins. They don't use the best ingredients. Yeah. They don't use fresh. We used fresh garlic. Yep. We toasted our anise and we grinded that up. We got the fresh. We always get the best. We didn't take anything over 6 months leaves my house. So we'd use fresh Italian parsley, and we used Pecorino Romano cheese. Goat's milk from Italy. I guarantee you no shop does that. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing, my veal sausage, no one will make my veal sausage because they can't afford it. Yeah. It's 1/3 veal. Well, just my cost alone is $12 a pound. Yeah. So to make any money, who's going to spend $36, so you have to do 3x, $36 on sausage? No one will. Yeah. So to go back to my friend, thank you for your thing. But yeah, in my opinion, it is the best because I'll tell you what, I use the best Pecorino Romano cheese. I use the freshest garlic. I use the freshest Italian leaf parsley. I use the best. I use all fresh ground pork. I know my ratios, and I do everything by hand. And so and I know my equipment. And equipment alone, all I'm doing is using a grinder. Another 22. I can do a hand grinder. I can do any type of grinder. That is not going to make a difference. Yeah. So a grinder alone, great. So I would go head to head with any shop in any shop, and they would say, yeah, yours is better, but it depends what you like. Yeah. So my wife likes Johnsonville sausages. That's all she knew. So when she tried my Italian sausage, she didn't like it because she liked Johnsonville. And we all know Johnsonville. They're a slow boutique little shop. They only use a couple ingredients. You can't get Johnsonville sausages anywhere in the world. Only 1 to 2 shops in the United States. Yeah. I'm being sarcastic. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is they're not boutique. Yeah. They're looking at margins. But that's what my wife likes. Yeah. I like Mrs. Butterworth's syrup. I can't stand that fancy stuff from Canada. The great maple. Just what I know. Yeah. So everything is the best. Yes, this is the best in my opinion. But I'll tell you what. No, I'm just going to double down and say it's fact now. Yeah. No, but I would say try it and let me know. Yeah. What I would
guarantee he hasn't made the recipe.
What I would try, just try it and then go. You know what? Then tell me. Yeah. But what you're doing is you're playing Monday morning quarterback on a recipe you never tried on something you don't even know. So in my opinion, get your poop in a group.
Well, and like the other thing here is because we talked to Clay at Snow's, and you made the comment to him, you're like, I bet you would smoke me if you made one brisket. We each made one brisket. And he's like, no, actually, I think you would make a better brisket because I make 70. I don't make one. And so you're making high quality. So even if that shop were to say, hey, let's go head to head and no cost margin is like a consideration.
They know the ratios.
They're what they do is based on the margins, based on you buying $10, $15 a pound and them still making money, not you making the best quality. And paying for it.
So I will tell you, when you go to like Little Italy, like the Hill in St. Louis, there's shops there that make really good Italian sausages. By far, they're good. Yeah. Better than anything you can buy. Maybe that's his point. If you go to like small, like Little Italy, only Little Italy on the Hill, or Little Italy like in New York, places that specialize in real heavy Italian population that came old school recipes, and maybe they do use fresh. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, mine will give them a run for their money every time because I made these for old Italian ladies, and they went, damn, this is exactly what my grandma made. I can't duplicate this.
There you go.
Because it's just the way it is. And I'll tell you what, I do this out of carrot. It took me a long time to figure out this recipe.
Yeah.
And once I did it, one time I forgot the water in it. I go, something's not right. And it was, sure enough, it was the cold water. It emulsifies everything together. And I redid it. It was like, that was the answer. One little ingredient will throw everything off.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think that was
sausage you ever had. Go watch it. Go make it.
It is. It's actually really, really good. Actually, I have some thought. Cook that out.
Colorado don't know shit about barbecue. I think is really, really funny. So this was a comment on the AJ's video.
Okay.
So one, Cody's from Wyoming. You're from Texas. I'm from, we'll call it, Idaho, Indiana. Like I've been all over the place. I'm not from Colorado. Been here for a few years. But then the person giving the video was, what's his name at AJ's?
The owner, part owner. He was like part owner. That guy.
Let me pull up his name real quick so I actually give him credit for it. Jared.
That's where the J comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jared. Okay.
And he has restaurants in Chicago. He's not,
but he has some Texas. But everything he does.
Like he has a Michelin star for the restaurant now, for AJ's. Like when I first heard that, I thought I was crazy because I've never heard of barbecue winning a Michelin award, but yeah, they won a Michelin award.
I'm at the Michelin Guide website right now.
This is I don't know who the high chef is, but
no, Patrick.
No, somebody commented that Colorado don't know shit about barbecue, and they're talking about a Michelin barbecue restaurant, which I've never even heard of. All right.
Okay, so let's do this now. So I assume he's from Colorado and he might be high because he's probably stoned.
There you go.
The chefs might he's tried eating a lot of different salads, but kind of the devil's lettuce. So let's just say he's eating the devil's lettuce. But AJ doesn't know shit about barbecue. As you just said, we just both looked up on the Michelin Guide's website. AJ's
has a Michelin star.
Has a Michelin star.
Jared's from, I'm assuming, I can't remember. Is he from Texas and he opened
restaurants?
But he's from Illinois, Texas. In Chicago.
But everything he did was quintessential Texas.
Yeah.
Everything you read about in Franklin's, Tootsie's, Goldie's, all these different, even the other place in Dallas, a really good one. They're good friends with Aaron Franklin. I'll think of his name in a second. But anyhow, they're all quintessential. And they do the same thing as Jared. And that's why I thought, this is going to be interesting. Jared blew my mind on everything he knew so much about barbecue. He's been doing this for a very long time. Yep. Again, I used to judge barbecue for 3 years straight. And then I competed in barbecue. Not that I'm all that. I'm not. But when you're out there, you hang out with 600 cookers. You hang out with 100 cookers, 200 cookers. And guess what you do? You talk barbecue. Okay, so it's not like I know it all. No, I'm a talkative guy. I just like to talk. So I'm not shy. I go out and talk to everybody, especially after a few drinks. And next thing you know, you learn more and more about barbecue. And the fun part is this, everything Jared does was correct. So hi, chef, or Chef Hi. I'll be honest with you. Why don't you eat some humble pie? And why don't you get out there and judge? Why don't you get out there and talk to some barbecue cookers? And it's like, okay. It's like a photographer. When a photographer takes a great picture, people always ask that stupid question, what kind of camera do you use? Well, it's like asking a chef, hey, what stove do you use? Yeah. It's not a matter of that. It's the skill, everything you do. What makes Franklin's really good, and those people who are competitive barbecue, they're doing exactly what we're doing right here.
Colorado has its own barbecue.
It does.
Which is unique to anywhere else, which is what barbecue is all about, is cooking these different cuts of meat that other people weren't using and making something amazing.
That's like indigenous, not indigenous, but it's part of their area. And you're absolutely right. They had lamb was Colorado, like Texas's beef. Kansas City had a lot of beef, but they're known for their burn ends. Then kind of Texas took that beef stuff down, the brisket, and then and the ribs that kind of came down from Kansas City. But Kansas had more barbecue than anybody. It kind of came down. Then you go to the Carolinas, they have whole hog. When you go, okay. Then you go to Memphis, Tennessee for ribs. We talk about this in our videos. But Colorado, they had their own called lamb. So I'll be honest with you, they're up there. Colorado, if you named any other state, I might agree with you. Colorado's like, no, they had their own. They had their own. And they were specific. And Roaming Buffalo is the only restaurant here in Colorado that actually tries to bring that back. And then we went there, and that was incredible. They did lamb really, really. And Mickelwait's in Texas did lamb. Okay, so you could say Mickelwait's is not barbecue because you would say, well, they took that from Colorado, which is great because everyone takes it from different areas.
Which is awesome. Like that's my daughter's favorite food is smoked lamb chops, which is, I mean, it's Colorado barbecue. That's
right.
I like making
Colorado
those
barbecue.
because I'll ask people like, do you like lamb? And they're like, no, I hate lamb. And I make these lamb chops for them, which is Colorado. And they're like, this is phenomenal. I've cooked up in Toronto some lamb chops and some rack of lamb, and they were like, this is amazing. I've never had lamb taste so good. And it's like, well, Colorado barbecue, here you go. Like, it's fun.
I think it's so, I mean, don't get me wrong, I was like this too. The older I get, it's like, it takes more energy to be so negative than it is to be positive.
Yeah.
Instead of asking the questions is, well, why is it Colorado barbecue? What made you Colorado barbecue boys? I would say, well, watch the first video, because that shows everything. Watch the video and that'll explain like, hey, how we came about, why we did this, because we came from different areas trying to find the best barbecue. Then we found out barbecue is in Colorado, lamb. And then we started doing all this stuff instead of just Colorado doesn't know anything about barbecue. Hell, I've been in some horrible places in Texas. All right, guys, it's been over 2 hours. We've kept it. I actually went a different route. We kept it steady at 200 degrees, about 250, holding straight. I'm telling you, I've never used a reverse flow ever. This has actually held steady, right? For 250, all the way, all these gauges, all four. I don't have these two up here. All 250, 250, 250. And look where it's sitting right now at 250. But we've been opening and closing this just recently right now. It's still at 250. So either all the thermometers are broke, it's stuck at 250, or this thing is so thick. It retains a lot of heat. And that's what I loved about this whole thing. This door alone was over 100 pounds. And look, you can open it with 2 fingers.
Well, because you've got this on there.
Right, that counterweight. So let's go through and look at what we just did here. You can see how this porous right here, add this like seal right here. See the grates almost look shiny? That's what you're trying to go for, kind of like a seasoned cast iron skillet so it doesn't stick to your cast iron. And that's how you're gonna break it in. So guys, it's real simple like that. You don't have to spend a lot of money, just spend some time burning it, get up to 250 for 2-3 hours, break it in. Now this is ready for some brisket. I'm gonna throw in some brisket here shortly. Might as well, got the brisket, I got the fires going. Zach, 1 through 10, would you rate this, how easy is breaking a barbecue?
Oh, that was easy. This is my first time doing it. And
1?
Yeah, 1.
1, right, 1.
Yeah, 2, you've got to figure out which fat to buy.
Right, beef, and we're done. All right, guys, well, thanks for joining us. Hope to see you soon.
So if you want to learn how to make some of the best barbecue ever, click this video right here and we'll see you in that one.
That's great. Let's click on more episodes. Like and subscribe.
Cool.
The exhaust has this really thin gray or thin blue smoke coming out of it. That's what you want. You don't want like a thick black smoke. That's gonna make your food taste very, very acrid, and you'll see it on the surface of the meat. Like, you want a nice bark, you want nice color on your meat, but you don't want it to be just coated in ash.